Welcome to BNEWS Weekly. I'm Phil Gallagher along with BNEWS Director Rich Hosford, BNEWS reporters Tad Stefanak, Robert Paris and John Vias, Jolie Atwood with the Community Calendar. Thank you for joining us. One person was injured after accidentally driving into a business on Friday afternoon. A woman who was driving a vehicle that struck the New Jiangsu Korean BBQ restaurant at 260 Cambridge Street in Burlington was transported to the hospital with injuries of unknown severity. Local news photographer Joe Brown, who also provided this photo, said no employees or customers were injured. The restaurant will be closed until at least the end of the day. Hope everything turns out well there. On Thursday, a good portion of Burlington students were in their school buildings, including half of the BHS freshman class of 2024. BNEWS Director Rich Hosford went to check out the soft opening of the schools and has this report.
For the first time since March, the halls of Burlington's public schools were filled with students on Thursday. At the high school, it was freshman orientation for half of the class of 2024, with the remainder scheduled for Friday. It was an opportunity for the students to hear from a motivational speaker, get some information from guidance counselors, take a tour of the building, and pick up their school-issued iPads. The orientation is an annual event, but of course, this year things looked a bit different with all the safety precautions in place.
Such as mask wearing, hand sanitizing stations, social distancing requirements. We've set up all of our classrooms to maintain socially distanced seating. We've reconfigured the hallways for one-way directionals and some do not enters and stairwells and things of that nature. So there's a flow to the building so people aren't crossing by each other when they're walking around. When we serve lunch, we set up the cafeteria, individual stations that are 6 feet apart.
Well, there are a lot of things that are different. This very fun mask that I'm wearing, for one. Trying to keep the kids socially distanced. It's just not natural for kids. It's not human nature. So they want to see their friends. They want to connect. Certainly the desks seated a few feet apart are different. You know, the sanitizing that we have to do, the washing of our hands, all of the things that we have to take care of for the health and safety reasons are different.
All of these measures will require some adjustments from the students.
It's going to take some time for the kids to get used to it. The classrooms are going to look different. The hallways are going to look different. Just some of the freedoms that they have, some of the opportunities they have to gather as groups of friends and at lunch and in the library and things of that nature won't be available right away. So I think it's going to look very stale, but we're excited that even with all the precautions we have to take, that we can get some in-person learning happening again for students.
So, how ready are they feeling for this strange new school year?
Any of us are ready and prepared. I think we're doing the best we can, but teachers are ready to teach. We have an excellent staff here at the high school. They're experts in their curriculum fields. They spent the last couple of weeks preparing for this new kind of hybrid remote model. It's a steep learning curve for teachers. They're under a tremendous amount of stress planning for kids that are in the class and kids that are at home. Optionally remote kids. There's a variety of variables and different things that are going into this. So they're as ready as they can be.
Things are changing all the time. Patience, flexibility, and forgiveness. The words of the year, if you will, with resilience following right along as well. But absolutely, our staff is amazing, and they will do whatever it takes to, help these kids learn and to feel comfortable and to be back at school.
Finally, despite some anxiety about safety, they are happy to have students back in the building.
It's awesome. It's great to have the kids back in the building. Unfortunately, it's not the way it used to be, but it's just so great to see the kids.
It's a little surreal. March 12th we closed, so we haven't had students in this building formally since last spring. So it felt a little awkward, but it was nice to have kids back in the building and starting to see students re-entering.
At the newly repopulated Burlington High School, I'm BNEWS Director Rich Hosford.
In related news, Superintendent of Burlington Public Schools, Dr. Eric Conti, and Assistant Superintendent of Schools, Patrick Larkin, were in studio for a new segment on school reopening and the pandemic. This week, they discussed the first day of school and how things went. Let's take a look.
Hi, this is Eric Conti, Superintendent of Schools, and this is a very abbreviated version of Thursday Must-See TV. Here on Thursday evening, we had our September 10th, we had our opening for grades 1 through 5, and we had orientations for grade 6, half of grade 6, and half of grade 9 today. And I just want to thank everybody for their patience and understanding. The staff was incredible. The energy from everybody in the buildings was amazing, and that was even before the kids arrived. And when the kids got there, it just was off the charts. So we're just very excited to have kids back in schools. And again, incredible work by the central office staff, and a lot of that was led by Assistant Superintendent Patrick Larkin. So Patrick, thank you very much.
Oh, thank you, Eric. Again, thanks to the community for your patience. Again, this is something we've never done before, trying to start up with different schedules, have students remote, have students in person, and really appreciative of everybody's flexibility as we get into this 2021 school year, which we hope will evolve into a pretty regular school year sometime soon, but we're really not sure of that, so we're kind of planning for all options. So I was able to be out at Francis Wyman for drop-off and pick-off and pick-up, and Principal McDonald, Assistant Principal Doran, the whole staff, just to see them work together for the drop-off line was kind of long at one point, and buses came through and kids got into the school, and seeing everybody at the end of the day still smiling and how was the first day and thumbs up, and that's what we were hoping for. We know it's not going to be perfectly smooth. It's going to take us a little while to get used to these new routines, but just to have the kids back in school is really uplifting for all of us.
We have such a strong building leadership too. So again, a lot of the detail work, because I was in the 4 elementary schools today too, even how the kids were walking in the halls, how the kids were using the bathrooms, where they put a Velcro sticker on so it said they were occupied, and then they took the sticker off when they left, so we were doing single occupancy. Just all the thought that went into that was really impressive. Again, our principals are just amazing. We know we have work to do still, so just want to make sure that we're not saying things were perfect. We understand that they weren't. Transportation came in very late. We understand that. We were still getting parent requests really late, and we were trying to accommodate everybody. And so we're still working on transportation capacity, who's going to take it. There are some students assigned to seats who had changed their mind and gone fully remote. So we're going to scrub the data and continue to work with folks on transportation. So we know that's an ongoing issue. I think lunches, we need to make sure that we have better communication in terms of how you order lunches and how we're going to be providing lunches to students. So we still want to be able to provide lunches to all the students that want a school lunch, and we're working on that. So I think those are a couple areas. Technology, Patrick,
Yeah.
you want to talk a little bit about iPads, because I think we're still working on getting those out.
Yeah. So, I mean, in a typical summer, we'd basically hand out new iPads to our 9th graders. And this summer, we're handing out iPads to every student in the district. So it's a huge scale up for us. Unfortunately, certainly some of the issues we could have been a little cleaner on, but some of the things like new cases that are held up in China are things we don't have control over. So again, we appreciate everybody's patience with that. We are setting up a system, a Get Help system, which we use in schools for staff. We're going to get that set up so parents can make Get Help needs requests online as well, and we can try to get them quicker support. And I know we're also talking about getting a live number that people can call into if they have issues. I know we've posted for more help in the IT department. That's something that's been ongoing. And we're trying to get that person, again, hired and on board as quick as possible. But in the meantime, I would say you could Larkin at bpsk12.org. I'm happy to try to direct issues if you can't get answers to any of the tech questions. But our goal is to really make sure that we get everybody with the device they need as quickly as possible. We handed out, I think, 350 or so devices to remote students just Wednesday. And there's more that we're going to try to fill in the gaps with a few during the remainder of this week. So again, appreciate your patience, and more help is on the way. And if you have a need that's pressing, again, the office number for me is 781-270-1989 too, and we'll try to direct you to somebody that can get you immediate help if you need it.
Just want to thank all faculty and staff for their hard work, all the, again, maintenance, support staff, clerical staff for getting us ready, and we also couldn't have done it without the support of Susan Luminello in the Board of Health. So wanted to make sure we thank them, and the school committee has been very supportive throughout. So looking forward to opening schools, which we did today, and we're looking forward to staying open, which is going to require precautious behavior in school, but also making sure that families in the community continue to practice caution when it comes to staying safe, wearing masks, keeping socially distanced, and washing hands. So again, thank you all very much. We're looking forward to day 2.
Schools may be open, but how students get there is a bit different. On Tuesday, Superintendent Conti and Director of Operations Bob Kuna gave the school committee an update on restrictions that they had to put in place in terms of students and busing. They said the issue is that due to social distancing, they have to space students out in the buses. This means that each bus can now carry only 21 to 23 students at a time, a bit more if there are siblings on the bus because they are allowed to sit together. Adding more buses, if they are available, would be costly. Kuna said each bus is about $60,000 per year, or roughly $5,000 per month, and that due to the distancing requirements, each bus would only be able to transport roughly 70 to 75 extra students over 3 routes. The number of students that are facing being cut from the bus system due to space requirements is 425, according to numbers provided at the meeting. The method used to determine who will be cut is based on how far from the school students live. The department made a list of all the students who are eligible for bus rides. They then made a circle with the school in the middle, the particular school, and it expanded it until the number of students they needed to be cut fell within its borders. Anyone in the distance of the circle will not be offered transportation while the social distancing measures are in place. The actual distance varied from school to school. Here is what they said they found in the study. Fox Hill had 84 students over capacity and the circle went out 0.81 miles. Pine Glen had 46 students over capacity and the circle went out 0.53 miles. Memorial had 56 students over capacity and the circle went out 0.75 miles. Francis Wyman had 159 students over capacity and the circle went out 0.71 miles. Marshall Simons Middle School had no students over capacity. Burlington High School had 80 students over capacity and the circle went out 1.34 miles. Members of the school committee said that while they prefer to offer all students transportation, they were behind the proposed plan. Committee Chair Christine Monaco acknowledged that it will be a struggle for some families and asked for everyone to be patient. Here she is with her comments.
I would like to ask the community to be understanding of the fact that this is very last minute and to please help us out by getting your children to school while we work through all of this. But I'm sure there's going to be a lot of confusion, and we need I guess forgiveness is the word, because I don't think this whole bus situation is going to be smoothed out for quite some time. And, but we will get it smoothed out as soon as we can, and we may have to revisit certain things. Parents who simply can't get their children to school without the bus. And I know you've been taking all of those things under consideration. I just think it's going to be a rough start bus-wise, and I would ask everyone to be patient and keep us informed, and we'll work it out together.
A beloved family man and generous local business owner who made significant contributions to Burlington High School has passed. William Bill Goches, owner of W. Goches Insurance Company, passed away peacefully at his home surrounded by his family on Friday, September 4th at the age of 89. According to his obituary, William was a man of faith, family, and community. He attended Everett High School where he excelled in football, graduating in 1948. Bill went on to Northeastern University where he also played football and earned a bachelor's degree in business. After college, Bill enlisted in the U.S. Marines, earning the rank of first lieutenant. Bill began his professional life working for the John Hancock and Allstate insurance companies. In 1984, Bill founded W. Goetjes Insurance Agency at 113 Cambridge Street in Burlington, constructing a new building at that site in 2000. Bill was a man of the community. He contributed to many charities, including Toys for Tots, various golf tournaments, 4th of July parades, holiday lighting, Dare Day, police patrolmen, the after-graduation party, Rosie's Place, youth sports, and countless other activities and events in the community. One of his biggest contributions was the huge scoreboard at Burlington High School's varsity field. Bill was also involved in government as a former chairman and member of the Ways and Means Committee. He will be missed. Down but not out, the Burlington Area Chamber of Commerce is taking a step back while it prepares to take many steps forward for Burlington businesses and charities. BNews reporter Tad Stefanak went to talk to one of the organization's board chairpersons and has this report.
For obvious reasons, Burlington businesses have been going through turbulent times, and the Burlington Area Chamber of Commerce has been there for its members and non-members throughout the storm-tossed economy.
Obviously, the Chamber is a membership organization, right? But with the strike of COVID and everything that was going on around it, not only for the Chamber, but it was just clear in general that people needed to help each other. Rick Parker did a beautiful job with Katie and Debbie making sure that they could include everybody, even if they weren't members, because, you know, the time was there to help everyone and anybody and everybody, not just our membership. We wanted to kind of bring everybody in. Mid-March is when the governor called the stay, so they immediately started hitting the streets. They started doing emails out to people and going and seeing people who were still open. Those who were not open, they were helping them talk about the PPP, you know, and what kind of grants or unemployment were available for those who were put out for the time being. Those who were partially opened, we were doing everything we could to have meetings with them virtually and talk about how their business could change so that we could keep them viable and keep ourselves viable through what is probably one of the most challenging times around.
With all of their efforts, the Chamber has exhausted their funding and has unfortunately had to furlough its full-time staff.
The biggest challenge the Chamber has faced is our funding mechanism comes from events. You know, it comes from our membership base, but over 70% of it comes from the events that we do.
The official announcement was made the next day, our Chamber went to work.
Without events, we have to pare back a bit, but we will push to get everything else going as best we can. So stay tuned as we try to do a virtual taste, because I think this community has loved the taste for over 10 years. I mean, we've been doing it for multiple years. It's a passion of mine and of the Chamber's to try to keep that going. So the events committee will be virtually meeting soon so that we can discuss, you know, how to do some form of a taste without necessarily filling a room with it, because that's the difficult part. So maybe we're going to ask people to head out to restaurants as opposed to vice versa. But actually the plan is very clear. So administrative staff will come back for us on a very part-time basis. We will continue. Our website will be alive and well, and we're encouraging our members and those who are not members to go to the membership base. If you need somebody, you know, look to the Chamber's membership. So the website is alive and well. You know, we still believe you should support local and shop local. We very much plan on continuing to do our back talks with BCAT, so we are looking forward to continuing to highlight our members and our restaurant base and being able to do things that way. Our Government Affairs Division is still alive and well. They are meeting once a month right now, working on the MWRA project, and I'm assisting the town with that. I think our message from the Board of Directors is that we are very much still pushing forward. We are asking for a little bit of patience, as we will not be as smooth as Rick and Katie and Debbie, but we promise to be as responsive as we can. I think our message is, you know, we're going to come out on the other side.
From the office of the Burlington Area Chamber of Commerce, I'm BNews reporter Tad Stefanak.
Bob and I serve as the co-chairs of the Burlington.
We hope to see the Chamber back in full swing as soon as possible. The Burlington Fire Department recently received funds to help them stay safe while out in the field. Massachusetts Congressman Seth Moulton announced in August a $9,586 grant for the department to go towards reimbursing personal protective equipment purchases. The money is from the Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security Act, better known as the CARES Act, to reimburse fire departments for emergency medical PPE and supplies to disinfect and decontaminate equipment. Congress included money to pay back local agencies for expenses they incurred responding to the coronavirus pandemic. Representative Moulton expressed his firsthand experience with having the right equipment in threatening situations. He said while on tour in Iraq, his unit went into harm's way without the right armor on their truck, and that firefighters in our community shouldn't experience a feeling like that as they confront the pandemic. Fire departments can also use the funds for new equipment that will help them respond to future emergencies. You may have noticed them around town this summer, clearing trash and debris from waterways. They're members of Burlington Conservation's annual stream cleaning program. Despite the circumstances of the pandemic, this year's small team of 2 was able to accomplish quite a bit. BNEWS reporter Chris Flaherty spoke to Conservation Administrator John Keeley on their efforts over the past few months. Let's take a look.
For over 30 years, members of the Conservation Department's stream cleaning program have spent the summer months cleaning and protecting the town's waterways.
We use summer temporary help to walk the streams and clean them up of debris, trash, and things that could cause flooding in the residential neighborhoods. So if there's trees blocking the stream, and we try to do it in an environmentally sensitive way, so we're not just going in and turning it into a cleared out ditch. So we're trying to balance environmental protection and protecting the neighborhood from trash and flooding.
Despite the pandemic, the program was able to continue this summer, although with a smaller crew.
We did decide to go ahead. We had a small crew. We just had 2 workers, Kaylee and Emily. So basically what they did was, we have some places we clean every year. So they clean places that are frequently problems. And we also keep a list of requests from residents.
The annual work of the stream cleaning team protects residential areas in Burlington from any potential water damage.
It's been popular for so long because there's so many areas, residential areas of Burlington, that are subject to flooding. We have a lot of small streams, and we have a lot of houses that were built close to them in places, many of them in places we probably wouldn't even build houses today. So any blockages of streams, culverts that get blocked, can cause a lot of flooding and property damage.
The stream cleaning team have become quite popular around town and have reinforced a positive image of the Conservation Department.
The stream cleaning crew, because of its popularity and their visibility out there in the summer, working in people's yards, it helps bring a lot of visibility to the Conservation Department. Everybody loves them. We get nothing but positive feedback about the work that they do. So it's a definitely benefit to our cause.
Until next time, this is Chris Flaherty for BNEWS Weekly.
The town of Burlington has secured funds to help the smallest businesses in town. According to Burlington Economic Development Director Melissa Tintakalis, the town has partnered with the Massachusetts Growth Capital Corporation to provide grants to micro-enterprises adversely impacted by COVID-19. The grant is part of the federally funded CARES Act of 2020, and the funding is being utilized to address emergency needs in light of the pandemic. Burlington is among a select number of communities to offer individual grants of up to $10,000 for micro-enterprise businesses in need of assistance. A micro-enterprise is defined as a commercial enterprise that has 5 or fewer employees, one or more of whom owns the enterprise and must be a for-profit entity. The Town of Burlington's Economic Development Office will be receiving approximately $120,000 to support small businesses in the community. A total sum of $4,950,000 will be distributed from the Department of Housing and Community Development to assist small businesses in 23 cities and towns across the metropolitan Boston region. The Burlington Parks and Recreation Department had a garden contest for residents during the summer months with a number of different categories. BNews reporter Robert Paris spoke with a couple of the winners and has this report.
The Burlington Parks and Recreation Department had a garden contest in the summer during the COVID-19 pandemic.
So we reached out to the Burlington Garden Club to cooperate with us on this because we think it's a natural fit. The Garden Club was very receptive. In fact, each of the winners will receive membership to the Garden Club for their year of September 20th through August of 21. We've worked with a number of people on their executive board, and they love gardens all of the time, and we're super excited for us to be able to showcase some homes here in Burlington as well.
I got a chance to talk to a couple of the winners of this year's contest.
It was built around 25 years ago Me and my wife had built it. Unfortunately, she passed away, so I'm trying to keep the tradition going, and I love doing it.
Well, my vegetable garden, which is what I entered the contest for, has been growing and changing over the years. And this year, I think with COVID and being home more, I really focused in on the vegetables, and my husband helped me make a new fence this year. I also was able to start some things from seed this year, which was fun.
These gardens are unique in their own way, with vegetables and plants.
Well, we got a koi pond. I did all these flowers here. These are all perennials. They come up every year, or most of them are. Some of them are tropical. I replace them every year. I do all this myself, all the patio work, all the rock work, all done by myself. A lot of hard work, but that was when I was a lot younger too.
So this year I've got tomatoes. I have 5 different kinds of tomatoes. I just did one plant of each type that I liked. Green beans, tried to grow some cabbage, which evidently before the fence was done, the bunnies got to. Lettuce early in the springtime, cucumbers. I've tried my hand at potatoes, and it's almost time to try and dig those out and see how successful I was.
One winner had more than just a garden to show off.
It's hard to grow pumpkins around your house. So I picked a spot and I took a chance on it, and I grew 3 big ones, but this is the biggest one I ever grown. Popeye's been with me, I'd say, for about 30 years. He's my life now, because again, I live alone, and he's very entertaining. He's got good days, he's got bad days. He's moody sometimes, but most of the time, he gives me a lot of enjoyment.
I'm Robert Paris for BNEWS Weekly.
It's been a great year for gardening, a lot of sun. The Garden Club, the Burlington Garden Club, is always looking for members. You can find them online. Parks and Recreation Director Brendan Egan spoke with BNews reporter Robert Paris about the newly released fall brochure for this week's update. Let's take a look.
Fall is in full swing. This week I had another conversation with Burlington Parks and Recreation Director Brendan Egan during the COVID-19 update. The department has recently released the 2020 fall brochure.
Everything is online. We did not release the brochure in printed form. We only did it online. So if you are looking for it in your mailbox, due to COVID-19 pandemic, we are not releasing a paper brochure at this time, but we are doing it online. So you can find that on burlingtonrecreation.org. It was also released through our social media, so you can find the links there as well.
The brochure has a variety of programs in person and virtually.
So we're excited about that. The program staff worked really hard within the guidelines set by the state, just like our summer programming. So there are maximum numbers of people that are allowed to be in certain spaces. We've followed the guidelines as closely as we did this summer. If those change during the fall season, we'll obviously adapt to those and increase or decrease as needed.
Brendan is hoping to see a silver lining in the near future.
Having some kind of vaccine or something at some point this fall would be great too, and could get us, headed in the right direction. I think we are, but it'll get us further down the road to a complete recovery.
I'm Robert Paris for BNews Weekly.
Peter Brown is out this week, but we have the 7-day forecast to keep you up to date on the incoming weather. We'll also check out the community calendar with Jolie Atwood to see what's happening in Burlington.
Hello, I'm Robert Paris, filling in for BNews meteorologist Peter Brown, who is out this week. I do have to say that our weather is slowly transitioning to cooler temperatures, but not quite. On Friday, we will see some morning showers with temps in the high 60s. Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, we will see some days mostly cloudy and others partly cloudy. The temperatures will be in the high 60s and mid to upper 70s. Tuesday and Wednesday, sunny skies with temps in the mid 60s and low 70s. That is all for your weekly forecast. I'm Robert Paris saying, as Peter Brown always does, get out and enjoy the weather.
I'm Jolie Atwood, and this is your community calendar. Come and listen to a discussion about systemic racism. On Wednesday, September 16th at 7 p.m., the Burlington Public Library will be having a virtual event called Exploring Systemic Racism. Everyone is welcome to attend the event virtual on the BPL Facebook page. For more information, go to burlington.org or call 781-270-1690. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the sound of the music. On Thursday, September 17th from 5 to 8 p.m., 3rd Avenue will be having live music for the public. Jay and Joe's acoustic duo will perform. Everyone is welcome and the event is free. Go out and see what you can find at a yard sale. On Saturday, September 19th from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m., the UCC Congressional Church will be having a giant yard sale. Everyone is welcome and masks are required. The rain date for the event is September 26th. I'm Jolie Atwood, and that was your community calendar.
Another week, another photo to highlight. This week's photo shows a very trusting, feathery friend. It was sent in by Marcy Rose and features a chickadee eating some seeds right from her hand, or as she put it, "This chickadee let me treat her to lunch." Thanks for the photo, Marcy. We'd like to see your photos. They could be of your summer activities, a family trip, or just everyday moments. Whatever you think is interesting and want to share with us in the community. Email your photo to bcat@bcattv.org with the subject line Photo of the Week. Okay, that's it from the news desk here at BNEWS Weekly. I'm Phil Gallagher, along with BNEWS Director Rich Hosford, BNEWS reporters Tad Stefanak, John Vias, and Robert Paris, Jolie Atwood with Community Calendar. Thank you for joining us.